Covering news where you live, this is 5 News.
Thanks for joining us for the top headlines where you live. I'm Ian Taylor, and the Hogs are headed to the Liberty Bowl. Before we get to today's weather, we've got to look ahead to tomorrow's big game. Arkansas will be taking on Kansas in tomorrow's game, their first head-to-head match since 1906. Will the Razorbacks finally take down the Jayhawks, or will Kansas come out on top once again? The 5 News Sports team will be covering everything you need to know as Sam Hittman and the Hogs prepare for the bowl game. Jacob will also be live in Memphis to call those Hogs. For full coverage, you can visit 5newsonline.com. And now over to meteorologist Stephen Abshire for a look at the weather ahead of tomorrow's game.
Thanks, Ian. Taking a look at what to expect for today, we're going to have cool temperatures for this morning and really not going to be warming up all too much as we get later on throughout today. Still going to be a little bit below average with high temperatures into the low 40s for northwest Arkansas. But as we get into the overnight, things are really going to be pretty mild with those winds coming out of the south, keeping temperatures from dropping all too much as we get into Wednesday morning. Then a big warm up is on the way. But taking a look as well in the River Valley, going to have high temperatures get into the middle 40s as we get later on throughout the day. Going to have sunny skies for today with winds picking up as we get into the overnight. But what to expect for tomorrow morning? Well, we're going to have temperatures right around freezing, but double from what we saw earlier today as we had temperatures into the teens. 30 for Fayetteville and in Bentonville, 33 in Huntsville, and 32 in Fort Smith for tomorrow morning. For those high temperatures, it's going to feel much nicer. Sunnier conditions outside, 55 in Fayetteville and in Bentonville, 60 in Fort Smith, and 57 in Waldron. Those winds are going to be coming out of the south. Could have wind gusts upwards of 35 to 45 miles an hour at times for tomorrow. So although it's going to be warm, a little breezy as we get going throughout the middle of the day. But we also going to have some rain chances, mainly as we get into Thursday night and into Friday. We're going to have that warm front push through on Thursday morning. Much warmer temperatures as well as we get into Thursday. Could have some temperatures get into the 70s, but the storms are going to mainly focus for parts of central and eastern Arkansas. Could see a little bit of a push towards the west, bringing some scattered light showers into mainly the eastern half of our viewing area, including parts of the River Valley. So we're going to keep an eye on this system over the next few days and see if it does end up moving a little bit to the west, bringing us a little bit more rain showers as we get into Thursday night and into Friday morning. Could have another round of showers as well as we get into Saturday morning. But taking a look at the 7-day forecast for northwest Arkansas, temperatures are going to be warm as we get into the middle of the week. Temperatures are going to be into the 60s on Friday. Going into the weekend, we're going to have above average temperatures for the end of the year and the start of 2023. On Sunday, and then as we get into Monday, could have some storms on the way. Taking a look at the River Valley, similar story. Could have some 70s. Going to have temperatures above average for the rest of the next 7 days after today. And we're keeping an eye on some of those rain chances that are coming up in the next 4 to 5 days.
All right, thanks, Stephen. The Fayetteville Recycling and Trash Collection Division are taking your Christmas trees for free from now until the end of January. All you need to do is put your tree by the curb on your normal trash collection day, and the collection crew will take care of it. Be sure to take off any and all decorations still left on that tree, like lights, tinsel, ornaments, anything that might still be there. This offer is for real Christmas trees only. No plastic ones will be accepted. And as one holiday comes to an end, another begins. Yesterday marked the start of Kwanzaa, a 7-day celebration honoring the history and culture of African American people. It begins every year on December 26th, lasting until January 1st. Each day of Kwanzaa is dedicated to one of the 7 principles: unity, self-determination, collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. A utilities disaster taking place in parts of Memphis, leaving thousands without running water and restaurants out to dry. Julian Sally Jr., the general manager of Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis, says the city's boil water notice is affecting restaurants the most.
We have cleared just about every grocery store and gas station of all the bottled water we could get our hands on.
One of the biggest roadblocks restaurants are dealing with is not being able to prep food for the next day. Many restaurants across the city do not have any water pressure, and right now most grocery stores are out of water. Instead, restaurants continue to boil water and prep their food on the fly. And this comes as dozens of dogs and cats at a Northwest Arkansas animal shelter had to be moved out after pipes burst twice in 1 week, impacting the shelter's HVAC unit's heating. One group, Best Friends Animal Society, is temporarily taking in the animals. They say about 35 dogs had to be moved from the Springdale Animal Shelter after a pipe burst on Christmas Day, causing some of the ceiling tiles to fall and several of the lights not to work. Another pipe burst at the shelter on Christmas Eve. The Springdale Animal Shelter director believes this happened because of the frigid weather. There are still around 20 dogs left at the shelter, but workers say they're kept in an area where power is still running. The other dogs and cats are being temporarily housed across several rescue and animal shelters. Oklahoma voters are set to decide on if the state will legalize recreational marijuana next year. Governor Kevin Stitt called a special election on the matter after there were enough signatures on a petition to qualify the question for a statewide vote. The special election is set to take place Tuesday, March 7th. And in Arkansas, the State Department of Health reports there are almost 90,000 medical marijuana patients in the state. Marijuana regulators say they expect the industry to set new sales records this year. Ashley Godwin has more on those revenues sales that are bringing to the state and what roadblocks the Medical Marijuana Commission says it hopes to figure out in the year ahead.
So we saw these really significant sales spikes, and I didn't necessarily think that 2022 would exceed that.
Last year, Arkansas saw record numbers for medical marijuana. Sales increased, especially after pandemic checks were issued.
So as the stimulus funding would hit the state, you'd see sales spike.
After a slow start to 2022, March saw $24 million of purchases, setting the tone for a steady year of record sales.
And that's a little bit surprising.
Overall, this year, Arkansas is expected to hit a record $275 million in sales. That's $10 million more than last year. Each month, Arkansans spent between $20 to $24 million on marijuana, and the state saw $30 million of that in taxes.
And it's going to be interesting as we enter 2023 to see if that's just how the industry works.
While the medical marijuana program was passed in 2016 by voters, the first dispensary didn't open until 2019, and the program has yet to be completed, with 2 licenses being held up in court.
Right now, it's not possible. If something changes in the litigation, they could.
Just last week, the Arkansas Supreme Court sent the case back to civil courts. Until a ruling is made, the Medical Marijuana Commission cannot hand out the last of the licenses.
They've made it clear that they want to issue those last 2 licenses. They took a vote and said, we want to get these out the door. So it's just a matter of having the authority to do it.
Ashley Godwin, 5 News.
And those are some of your top headlines on this Tuesday. We'll continue to follow the news all day. Catch up with us again this evening on your 5 News at 4, 5, and 6. I'm Ian Taylor. Have a great day.